5, 4, 3. Alright, welcome everyone to Infernax. Now, I was talking about this game a little bit during the Dark Souls run, and this Infernax game is kind of Dark Souls-y, more Castlevania-y, but I got a couple of donations with the hit list run to read off first. So DM Panda donates $20, more bamboo. I rounded up the hits taken in Dark Souls to a nice healthy 20. Thank you everyone involved behind the scenes. You're all amazing. Good luck to the rest of the runners. And that went towards Infernax sleep percent, which actually now that means all of our targets have been met. That's right, every single target that we have has been met. So if we can think of extra targets, we'll definitely think of them, but otherwise start donating to the prizes and the bid wars. Zong Talker Zong donates $30. No comment. Went to Infernax sleep percent. And he's saving the frames on Metroid. Mr. Tower donates $50. Only took 6 hits, but here's $50 because I like trees. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tower. And Zenith donates $30. That says 6 hits equals $30, and that went towards Nailsmith Purity versus Happy for the Purity incentive. So yeah, if you want to see these bid wars win, if you have a favorite option, be sure to jump in there and get those. But now it's Ddraig to take it away.
Hello, 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 how are we doing, everyone? So yeah, this is Infernax. Obviously, Zenith gave you a very brief mention of it on the previous one. So what we're going to do, because we met those incentives, we're going to get both of those done first. We're going to start with the note percent run. So I will be changing the language from English for the main run, but for these intros, I want the text to show. So let's get it started, and yeah, so it doesn't matter what mode we're in for this one. So this is just the basic intro. We are Duke Alcedor, Duke not being a title, not a name. We've just come back from a year on the Crusades, though I'm not sure what Crusades exactly. And a year before we've just come back, but a year before we came back, someone else arrived with a book to summon some demons. So this is the first one we're going to encounter. So we're going to kill him, and we are going to nope out of here. So as you can see, was that a monster? Should we just leave, my lord? Yes, let's do that. Let's get out of here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is no percent. So we don't have a leaderboard for that for obvious reasons. It's such a short run, it's not something on its own that we thought was valuable to have a leaderboard for, but it is a very entertaining little ending there. Sleep percent, I've actually got a save slightly prepared, so we'll be skipping the first part of the game. So this is just after the intro sequence. We've set it up, we're going a different direction, so we're going to run all the way over here, and we're going to kill this skeleton. Also, as we're doing this right now, we've still got a little bit of time if anyone wants to try and flip good and evil. So please, if you want to, get a donation in now for that. If somebody donates $1, Panda, then there is a way we can make it so that we can start good and become evil later if need be, so we can account for that. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, I'm going to kill this red skeleton dude.
Yeah, and so the character that Ddraig is using right now is called Maximum Gunn. So
Maxine
like I was,
Gunn.
Or Maxine Gunn, yes. And like I said, this is your homage to Konami and Contra. Normally you play as a mace-wielding character that can eventually get a sword or just keep going with a mace.
Which is who we saw in the note percent, that is Duke Alcedor. Yeah, this character is Maxine Gunn. So this character, obviously a massive reference to Contra. Like, I don't think anyone's disputing that. And a lot of the game is heavily influenced by Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, which, if anyone has played them, should know that it is the best pre-Symphony of the Night Castlevania. So that skeleton we killed for a quest for this lady, and she's now going to allow us to sleep at her inn. So that's what we're going to do. So, as you said, you look tired, sir. Would you like to rest here for a while? Let's get a rest in. But you know, I'm not really sure that sleep quite did it for us. Let's get another one. A man like you surely needs more rest to heal his wounds. Please stay, my lord. Why, yes, I will. So we're gonna get a sunrise, but you know, I'm still not feeling really rested. So you just woke up from an entire day of sleep. You still need more rest? Yes, we do. You know, we've just come back from the Crusades. We're tired. We're wounded. We had to fight our way down here. And you know what? We're so tired, we're going to sleep again. I understand you might prefer comfort over adventure. You want to stay again? Yes, we do. And you know what? At this point, stay in bed as much as you want. I'm sure our problems will fix themselves. So yeah, why not? You're gonna give me the attitude, let's go back to sleep. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is sleep percent. Now, you'll notice, I'm going to let this just run for a moment, because you'll notice in the background the flames burning in the window, and if we just let it run for 1 or 2 more moments, we'll get some enemies from the game running across the background, torching everything while we nap away. So that is sleep percent. So thank you to the guys for donating for that incentive. That was a lot of fun. Now I'm just going to go and delete those saves quickly. Because this game does, if you have too many saves at once, though I don't think I'm anywhere near it, can cause you some slight issues. Okay, now we're going to go back to the screen because this is where we're going to become Maxime Gunn, and we're going to use the Konami codes. So, whenever we... Oh, sorry, wrong button. So we're going to count down 3, for the timer this is, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, game.
Alright, and I'm watching the evil versus good ending right now. Evil is ahead by $1. Okay. And we just got a new donation, so bear with me to refresh again.
I'll go straight for it, my friend.
I'll go ahead and read that as soon as I know if it went to... Okay, so good and evil are now tied at 31 apiece.
Thank you to whoever donated that extra $1. It is very kind of you. We are grateful for every dollar. That is a tree planted over here. So, because we don't know, I'm going to choose the good option here. And what we'll say is, by the time I finish the third dungeon, we need that to be split. So we're going to choose help.
And so illegally Sam donated $1 saying, did someone say $1? And that went towards the good ending.
So sorry, is that now we're on, that's lead in by $1, or is that the actual donation?
No, that was the actual donation.
Okay. So if we were doing evil, we wouldn't be fighting this guy, but there's a way we can make it up later on. So thank you for that, Sam. It is much appreciated. We're going to have some fun. That actually also allows me to get an upgrade straight away, which is great, because that's going to give us double up our damage and allow us to just kill a couple of the things we encounter a bit quicker. These guys aren't really an issue. They're going to die to a shot no matter what. But everything else we're going to fight along the way is going to take more than one shot, so doubling up our damage this early is always beneficial. And we're also going to fight a boss quite early. Well, it's more of a mini-boss than a boss, but you get the gist. So, this is Tancred. He is one of the good guys. He's been defending our home. We're not going to bonk that gate because we didn't move far enough in. Just walking past the save point restores your health and your mana if you've taken any damage or used any magic. We obviously haven't got any magic yet, as I'll let you know when we get our first one. That'll be in the first dungeon. But yeah. Oh, I was going to change the language, but you know what? Let's just keep it as it is. It's going to slightly affect the time, but not by a significant amount. Because we're not doing any of the side quests, really. We're just going to run our way through this. So you may have noticed in Sleep Percent we saw a green version of this guy in the credits. This is the one time a monster is going to run away from us and survive. So we've now saved the village, so the priest here is going to come over and tell us that we need to wait until morning and we're going to set out to hunt that monster. And now we're in the morning. So this is where we split off for Sleep Percent. I picked up the quest in this inn and then went back to the right. We're not going to do that because we don't need that for this. We're just going to start moving. There is a little bit of safety that we're going to take, or two safety elements we're going to take from this town, but we're going to wait until the very last dungeon to do that. Because it's going to slow us down if we do it beforehand. So yeah, so because we've got Maxim Gunn, he just shoots these Contra style shots, he just keeps shooting. It's, I'm not gonna lie, kind of like an easy mode, but it does make for a very fun run once you've got used to the game. But I definitely recommend playing through with Alcidor if you do pick up this game to try the first run. So we want to kill everything we can, which is great for having this gun character, because we want to pick up as much XP as we can, because we're just going to keep trying to up our damage. Okay, that's nice. So there, you can jump as I slid off the edge of the ledge there to get yourself slightly further over to the right before the text triggers. Oh, I was late shooting there. And that allows us to just save a little bit of time. This actual setup, this good setup where we fight that monster at the start instead of just not helping, is actually slower by about 13 seconds for the speedrun, which is like up to this point you've lost 13 seconds in effect by going good, but you are more powerful and you can make that time back in other places early on. So we're going to be now given a key, so we have to come here and fight this guy to get this key. We're going to trigger this save point because later we'll get a teleport ability which allows us to come back to them. We're going to avoid talking to basically anyone we don't have to. And what we also want, you may notice all these enemies dropping money, which you can see at the top of the screen there. We are trying to get to 200, which we're looking very good for at the moment, before the end of the third dungeon, which is pretty easy to do, to be honest. And we're looking to have 400 by the end of the fourth dungeon. We should comfortably get there, but sometimes the game can be a bit cruel with the cash drops, but so far we're looking good. You know, that's going to be cursing myself now, isn't it, Sineth?
Yeah, this game is... I mean, it's just watching you play it. I haven't tried Maximum Gun yet. I'm assuming it's a little bit easier than the base game, but...
It definitely makes it easier. It's definitely smoother for a speedrun as well. There's a little bit more of a grind element to the main game, using Alcidor. But, yeah, the times on them are actually very close though when it comes down to it. Okay, so we're going to skip this guy. This is going to be an intentional death we're going to take, because it's quicker than walking back to the other side of this room. These spike launchers are frustrating.
I don't know if you mentioned it as part of the Konami code, but I don't know if anyone noticed, but Ddraig has 30 lives.
Oh yeah, that is one of the things. So this is the classic difficulty, which normally you get 0 lives, and the casual difficulty gives you a free life. You can buy lives from the mages throughout the game. But we're not going to need to, because this just gives us 30 lives and it's just a straight run through the game. So we are going to take advantage of that to get some extra deaths. Also, with Maxim Gun, these 30 lives don't recharge, but with Alcidor, when you buy lives in the shop, every time you pass a save point you get that life back as well.
Alright, well, this is going to be a quick reminder to please donate to either the good or the evil ending, whichever one you want to see come out, because this is the first dungeon, we need to get to the second dungeon, and we need to call it.
Third dungeon, we can call it.
Oh, third. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, if we've got a lead after the second, we might want to call it just in case Sam decides to mess with us again. So you'll notice a lot of these shooters are on very specific cycles, and obviously that is beneficial to us as speedrunners. When I say these shooters, the spear shooting elements, not necessarily the skeletons who throw spears, and they can be a bit of a nuisance. But the shooters are on set time, and we use that to our advantage by making sure we do particular actions like jumping off certain ledges. Okay, so this is the first proper boss of the game, and okay, this isn't a bad, but that's unfortunate. So him teleporting does cost us time, because we can't attack him during that, but as you can see, it's still fairly quick, and it saves about 1.5 to 2 seconds to use the storm spell which we picked up at the start of this. So an orb is going to drop from the ceiling here. If it was Alcindor, we'd have to wait for it to come down, but because it's Gunn, we can just shoot up and get it as soon as it appears. You see the little bottom of the explosion there, and it's going to show us that door back on Urzon Citadel at the start, where we killed that other monster. That one of those crystals is now broken. So the priest mentioned to us that these are where these were. We're just going to tap this to get our mana and our health back, because I am prone to taking a hit off a particular enemy that's coming up. Okay, we are looking fantastic for cash, which is great. That's gonna... Yeah, that's the guy that I'm prone to hitting, which isn't an issue. We can comfortably take that hit and still just carry on to the next dungeon. So one of the things I am going to do is there is a couple of risky strats coming up as we come into the entry to the next dungeon. I'll mention them as we get it. You get a room full of spike platforms that drop and raise, and there is a couple of risky strats to get across that room in single cycles. So should we go for it? What do you think, Sineth?
Go for it. Risk it or biscuit.
So if we take a death, we'll just revert to the standard strat for the room, just to not waste too much time, but we'll go for it. So this first one does have one. Oh, no. Jumped slightly too early there, so I didn't get the jump. There we go. We might actually have it here anyway. We do. I didn't mean to jump on that last one, but that's a single cycle for that room. We'll try this one as well. Oh, that's good. That's a single cycle for this one.
Nice.
There is a slightly faster way to do that previous room, but it involves taking a deboost and it messes with your timing a little bit. So we won't be doing that. So we're going to upgrade our power again. That's now up to 30 damage based on the mass of the game. We're also going to take this health. That's the only health we're going to be taking. And we are taking that as a little bit of a safety for the marathon. A bit annoying that I missed the kill on that first... Oh, I didn't want that. So, a bit annoying I missed the kill on that first skeleton, because the skeletons themselves are with about 25 experience. So we don't really want to lose any experience, but we did kill that enemy at the start. So we're taking the deboost there to get through those spikes a little bit quicker. We don't have to wait for the cycle. Oh. I messed that room up slightly, just jumped a little bit too early at the start. Yeah, so killing that enemy that we killed at the start, where we chose to try and help that guy, that gave us 750 XP that we wouldn't have if we were doing evil. We're going to kill this guy because he gets on my nerves. So he's very easy to die to when you try and skip him, like we did the guy in the previous dungeon, and that's another intentional death just because, again, quicker than walking background. We're just now going to be running a little bit to the right, so you've got a minute here if there's anything you want to say, Sineth.
Right now we don't have any donations, so we're still tied up on the good versus evil. Be sure to get your donations in, even just $1 to plant a tree to go good or go evil. I mean, they're both good endings, so I would definitely pick either one. You're not going to miss a whole lot by you know, picking one over the other. It's just a matter of kind of choices that you make in this game. Also, I would highly recommend picking up this game because not only are there multiple endings, and I do mean more than two. You know, there's also the no percent, sleep percent. There's other finishes that you can do.
There are 9 endings in total. Some meme, some not meme.
Yeah, so, yeah, 9 endings, tons of content, and it looks so much fun to speedrun.
And in fact, though we're using the Konami code to play as Maxime Gunn, the character as Alcedor does appear in one of the endings anyway. You become him and carry on from there. But yeah. So you may have noticed when I came into this section that I didn't actually use a key on the door to get in here. I clipped myself through the ceiling and jumped over instead. So we're going to be doing that later, so I'll explain that a bit later on instead. You may have also noticed when I was in the top half of this room, I shot through the floor. That's to get 300 experience off these guys. So this is another room. This one, it's too long to literally one cycle, but that's about as quick as you can get through it. That's about as close to one cycle. This boss can be a little bit frustrating because there's spears and there are enemies as well.
Well, while you fight this boss, we have another $1 donation from Illegally Sam that says, I guess I'll undo my handiwork, and that went to the evil ending.
Okay, Sam, thank you very much. Always grateful for another tree planted. So yeah, as you saw, that boss is fairly quick with Maxime Gunn. It can take a bit longer with Alcedor because you don't quite have the same range. But, you know, we're fine. So again, we're going to shoot the ceiling. We came over here and positioned ourselves because this is where that orb is going to drop. You could just see it in the top there. And again, we're now going to watch the second one of these break. And yeah, teleported back outside. So we do have the points to do an upgrade here, but we're not going to. We're going to save it for the next checkpoint we go past. Okay, there is a quick one cycle in this room, but it's extremely hard to time. And you've basically got to time that first jump, so you hit the platform as it's halfway down and get, I believe it's a 4-frame window jump. It's very possible that the hard part is timing the initial jump to get on it. But we're quite comfortable, as you can see, just jumping across all of this. None of this is a big problem. So we're now heading towards the third dungeon and the second city on the way there. Oh, one of the other things, there is a day and night cycle in this game, as you saw in the sleep percent, where we just kept sleeping through day and night. But it's not really going to be a factor in this run at all, because every time you complete a dungeon, it resets the timer to take you to the night, and we're not going to spend long enough outdoors, and the timer only counts when you are outdoors. So every time we complete a dungeon, it's going to turn it straight back to day at the lowest timing, and so we're completely covered there. We are in a pretty good position cash-wise. It would be nice to pick up a little bit more soon, but we're going to get some good drops in the next dungeon anyway. Okay, so we do already have the... So we're going to take this one here. We're going to do it here so that we don't need to trigger the save point at the next area, because that'll make some of the stuff we do later a little bit quicker. Okay, so I'm going to do the third dungeon before we worry about the evil thing anyway. But what we're going to do for the evil thing is we're going to flood the bottom half of that town we just came through. We are going to destroy those people's lives. The innkeeper, we're going to ruin his whole thing. Because apparently we're not a nice guy, people. We're not nice guys. So these spinning platforms, if anybody's played Super Mario World or speedrun it, they're very similar to the platforms that move right and left, in that you want them to be moved, you want to be off them if they're moving against you, you want to be on them if they're moving for you, but you've also got to be careful not to drop down. So that storm spell we picked up in the first dungeon, you have to use here to open up the third one. There is a hint at that in another area back to the left, but we don't need to know because we know. So this is our Dungeon 3, Stormheim, where we are going to get our jump ability. And throughout this whole dungeon, I'm basically going to be running around shooting at the floor like this. Because we're going to be killing these things before they come out for a free 30 experience and some cash drops as we go. Oh, that was sketchy. Okay, also coming up in this dungeon shortly, I'll let you know when we get there, there is a clip we can do. So these thin individual platforms over the water here, we can just clip down into those. We're not bothered by that hit because we're about to take a death. So this is like that. That's an intentional death there. Because again, quicker to get back to the other side of the room that way. Okay. So yeah, like that wheel is turning to the right, so coming this way, we don't want to be on it unless we have to be. Oh, missed that slightly. So yeah, you'll see me all the way through this dungeon shooting down to the floor. You'll hear these little explosions as enemies die. So yeah, exactly like I was saying, that first one we want to stay on because it's going right. The other two we want to get off because they're going to the left. And on the way back it'll be the opposite. Okay, we are looking good money wise, and yeah, so when you clip through those thin platforms, if there's a solid block next to them, you can clip through them as well, and that's how we do that bit there, just to skip a little time. In the category I usually run, we have to run that room backwards, so you still get to see the whole room, but for this category, nope. So we're just going to stop briefly to avoid that. Now come on guys, be nice. Oh. Oh, they were not being nice. So this is why we took the extra health. So that we could take the extra hit there without dying, and we're going to deboost over there. You can normally go all the way to the right of that lower section, and then come all the way back to the left to get this skill. So this is the second skill we get. The first one was at the end in the first dungeon where we got the block breaker ability. Sorry, the second dungeon we got the block breaker ability, and the block breaker ability, as it says on the tin, allows us to break blocks. Oh, that was a bad death. Just pulled the second jump a bit too early there. So the block breaker with Alcedor also gives you the ability to deflect enemy attacks back at them. So like the spears and everything, you can shoot them back. With Maxim Gun, we don't get that, but I mean, being completely reasonable, you can see why we might not need it. With this double jump ability, that is also different. With Alcedor, it's more like you shoot yourself up using the mace, and it's got its advantages, it's got its disadvantages. For ultimate good, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment, but for ultimate good, it can make a big difference for Alcedor in the final dungeon. There's a lot of skips that you can do that you can't do with the double jump ability, but you can with his like boost up ability. But yeah, right, I'm just going to concentrate on this boss for a second, because this is one of the most annoying bosses, because you actually have to make effort to hit him. And you have to guess which side he's going to come up as well. That attack will kill us if it hits us. Let's take advantage of our double jump there. I'm expecting at least another one of these tentacle attacks, because this boss just doesn't like me. And there we go. That was alright overall. He can get frustrating with those attacks if the RNG goes against you. But we're alright with what we got there.
Alright, with that castle cleared, Evil is still ahead by $1, so if you want to call it there.
Okay, cool. So with that done, we're going to go Evil route, so we're going to go flood that town. I hope you're all proud of yourselves, everyone who donated to be an Evil. Especially Sam, because you're the one who forced us to flood this town by making us decide we might have to go good. And wow, Sam, wow. But no, seriously, thank you for the donations for that. It's really cool to know that we made $62 looking at that alone. Oh, I did not want to double jump there. So because we're going to go evil, we're going to destroy this. And that is going to more than offset the karma we got for saving that guy at the start. This is something we would not normally do on this run. Though there are definitely runs where you can make use of that. So you may have also noticed that the music changed slightly there in that previous section, and that was because, well, we're not very nice people. Stay on the middle one because it's going to the direction we want. Evil prevails. Yes, it does, Baron. Yes, it does. Like I said earlier, the evil is technically the faster run for this anyway, so it's not a bad thing, though a lot of that time save is earlier in the run. So, ooh, we should get 5 gold before we need it, so we should be fine here. So we've got the 200 that we need now, which is going to let us buy the teleport skill, which is understandably a real useful skill for a speedrun. So what are we now? 3 gold short of... There we go. So we've now got enough gold to get the safeties for later in the run as well. So this guy only sells the teleport, and you need to get that dungeon beat to be able to get up onto this platform. These are the slower sections of the game, but at the same time you don't have to press anything to skip through this. It all does it itself, so they can be really nice to get a rest, grab a little drink if you want it, and that's something I personally really like in a speedrun, where you have those moments. So we're now going to warp up to here. As we land, we're going to up our strength again. And we're going to hope now that between the next 2 dungeons we can get enough just to put a little extra strength on it.
Yeah, so you kind of hinted at it. This game has a hidden karma system in it. So if you're playing this for the first time casually, the choices that you make of like what you do in the game actually matter, and they can put you onto a path of one of 4 different endings. 2 of those endings are good and evil. The other 2 endings are ultimate good and ultimate evil.
Okay, there is actually also a redemption ending, which is you can find out about if you are a bit of an achievement hunter, because there is an achievement that you get for it, so you might come across it that way. But for the ultimate ending, let's tell you a little bit about the ultimate evil ending first. Right, we're not going to do that jump because you can clip through that end block and fall back down to die. But yeah, so the ultimate ending, so the karma system affects whether you are good or evil. So we're off a cycle there. Yeah, so the karma system affects good or evil. The choices that you make doing different missions. That guy at the start, if you save him or try to save him, you end up fighting that boss, and you've instantly got some good karma. There's other stuff you can do. You can donate money to a church. Ugh, horrible mistake. You can steal money from the church. You can also donate money to the church, then steal that money. And if you do it at night, there's a bit of a glitch which allows you to just constantly farm negative karma. So we do use that in the Ultimate Evil speedrun just to accelerate things a little bit, and also in the Submit to Robert, which is one of the evil endings possible. But so the main distinction then, so if you have 0 or above, you will get the good ending. If you have -1 or down, you will get the evil ending. The thing that determines whether you get the ultimate ending then is if you get the Necronomicon, which basically involves doing either the full good quest line, or doing the glitch or the full evil quest line to give yourself the access to it. So you fight a character named Robert, who is the leader of the cultists, the humans that summon these guys, all these demons. And if you are evil, you also have the option to help it. Well, you have to help him to get the Necronomicon, and that's an annoying head. Yeah, and But the Necron comes in. If you are the Ultimate Evil ending or the Ultimate Good, when you get to the final boss that we're going to fight in this, a demon will open a portal behind him. Which demon depends on whether you're good or evil. We're going to wait just so those guys don't kill us. And you then have to, if it's Ultimate Evil, you just go straight into a fight against that demon. So we're just trying to avoid those spears there so that we don't die before we get this. We're happy to die afterwards because we want it'll skip us back to the start of the room again, but if not, we can clip through that ceiling, like I mentioned before. So that is our rocket charge, that just boosts us forward. Oh, that's not good. There we go. So, yeah, if we do Ultimate Evil, we will fight Abaddon, and you get a little bit of a shmup boss fight, boss fight, which is quite interesting. It's definitely a change, and you also become like a demon version of the Alcedor character. So this is the ability that we just picked up. As you can see, oh, it's gonna shoot us straight into there's my that hasn't happened before.
Nice.
Every marathon needs one. It's not a full marathon run without one. But yeah, so Ultimate Evil is a lot of fun. You get to be the bad guy, what's not fun about that? And you fight Abaddon in the shmup fight. If you do Ultimate Good, you will fight you'll basically get an extra dungeon at the end. Oh, that's not good. You'll get an extra dungeon at the end of the game within Urzon. You go through the portal as the hero and get that dungeon. And at the end of that dungeon, you will fight the demon Baphomet. Oh, come on. This room is incredibly slow if you wait for that platform. So much so that we still aren't technically losing time on it with those two deaths. There we go. As you saw, that platform still wasn't halfway across that room. And we're just going to be using this to just accelerate us forward as quickly as we can. Oh. We're fine with taking that hit there. So the boss of this dungeon is quite free, but he is a bit of a pest in that we can only hit him when he opens his eye. And not the eye on his face. So we can safely stay here for this opening salvo and just do as much damage as possible. We didn't get enough shots to finish him. This is his most annoying attack. Oh, did not mean to take that hit there. Come on, dude. Oh, really? This is horrible RNG. 3 of these in a row is just... Okay, here we go. And that is that boss done. Yeah, that was terrible RNG. You can get a different attack as well where he still flies. You could shoot the eye. We probably wouldn't have had quite enough time to finish him off with that one, but... Oh. So anyway, that's our 4th dungeon cleared. So we've got 1 left before we go straight to the final boss. As we're going to see by the lock on the door here. Well, I am mashing A through this because the little text line appears at the bottom which tells us we can then skip through, otherwise it takes a bit longer. And we're just going to instantly teleport ourselves back to the starting town, and we're going to go buy those 2 safeties because they are going to save us time as we get through it. So normally I would just jump up into the air because you can get further with that. But we're going to buy this armor. And we're also going to buy a shield spell, which we wouldn't normally get in this run, but it's going to allow me to take an extra hit on the next boss if I get hit, and that can be quite a difference because the next boss is auto scroller. So we're going to pop in here and we're going to speak to this dude. Potions, as you can see, are free. Oh, we didn't want to use the spell in here anyway. You're fine. And one final stop here. That's our shield spell. So you see he also sold a heart. Those are the extra lives we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So when I mentioned earlier that the Gunn character actually is in it, that's also one of the other endings. There is a future ending which requires you to have completed the Demonology book, which I'll show you at the end of the run. And it also requires you to get the Necronomicon, which similar to the Ultimate endings. So we've got to avoid this guy, because otherwise he's going to want to talk to us, and we don't want to talk to him. We're not interested in the whole possession thing he's dealing with. This is just another potion shop, but this one sells an elixir, which you may need for a different quest in the game. Okay, so here we would usually use a familiar spell to summon a raven, who would hit that switch and extend the bridge for us. But we speedrun. We don't want to waste the 18 seconds it takes to get that spell, and in the time you have to wait for that. So we're just going to jump through with these abilities instead. So this is pretty much now just a free shot to the next dungeon. So if there's anything you want to say, Sineth?
Yeah, let me check to see if we have any donations that came in. We do have a $60 donation from Quicksilver that says, "Here's to the evil endings, to all the people who donated for flooding the town, to all the people still donating for saving the frames, not the animals, and especially to all the people donating for honoring an old bug's last request. Good luck to Mr. Ddraig for showing off a fantastic game." And that went to Purity. So let's go. Let me refresh the Tiltify page really quick. I kind of want to see where that bid war is right now.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay, so that ability can be triggered by the stick, not just using the attack and jump button together. And I unfortunately hit it the wrong way then.
So the Happy Couple versus Purity bid war. Happy Couple is currently at $160. Purity is at $140. So there's only a $20 difference. So chat, if you like evil endings, then you need to go donate to the Purity ending. If you like good endings, go donate to the Happy Couple ending. I won't tell you which one's the right one. Just go do the thing.
Really? There we go. So this isn't going to be quicker, but we want to get that health back because I'm prone to taking a hit in this next room. Yeah, because I trigger that too early all the time. So yeah, this is going to be our final actual dungeon, though if it was an ultimate good playthrough, we would be completing another dungeon at the very end of the game, but that's the only one. Unless you want to do all dungeons, there are 2 secret dungeons to get the final gun upgrade and the final armor upgrade. We only bought 1 armor upgrade, and it's the first one in the game. Oh, did not want that. That's better. Okay. So we're just going to use this rocket ability to jump straight past all these spikes. It's clearly intended, as you can see from the layout. Okay, let's hope this guy's friendly today. We just want to walk him back by standing just to his lower left, under his arm. And he's going to then break those tiles for us. We don't care about that hit. I'm shooting the shots there because you'll get one of those blood enemies on the ceiling, which we don't want to drop down and slow us down. So like the 3 we got up there, we got them as we go. Okay, this is one of the most dangerous rooms in this dungeon.
Yeah, I died many times in this room.
Oh, that was a bad hit to take. But because we've got that armor, we survived. We would have died there if I didn't. Oh. If I didn't have that armor, but I made up for it.
At least you transitioned first.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, so speaking of evil and good endings, so we've already decided one of the endings, and that was Metroid Fusion, where we did not save the animals. So we got the evil ending there. We also decided the fate of this town and got the evil ending here. So, I mean, I don't know, chat, are we feeling pretty evil for the entire marathon?
Are you suggesting that people should vote to kill the animals?
Kill the animals, do purity, I mean...
Because as a former Super Metroid speedrunner, who fully intends to return to the game at some point, I'm sure, I'm all for saving those frames. Oh, come on, clip through. Sometimes I do tend to release that button just a little bit quick. We're not going to have time on there now. So this is what I was talking about. If you stand very edge of these platforms, it'll take you into the ceiling, and we can use that to skip some transitions. That wasn't very nice. Okay, we're going to come into this room, but we are going to take a death straight away because I want to have full health, just because if we take a death near the end of this fight, it's so much time lost because of the auto-scroller. Okay, also, this is the shield spell. It's the first spell you could pick up in the game. You can buy it, as you saw from that shop, right at the start of the game. We just waited to the end because of the cash situation. This shield spell is going to last this entire room. Whatever room you use it in, it lasts for the full room, but that's it. Okay, this is going to be a slow pattern, that's annoying. So we've got to wait for him to open his mouth and poke his tongue out, which usually involves waiting for an attack. Okay, this is going to be a quick pattern. We want these. Yeah, this, we don't want those. This is going to be another slow pattern. So with this pattern, he can shoot up to 10 times. And there's no way for us to control or manipulate it. I think the lowest I know of is 5. Okay, this is not a very friendly fight boss. He's not being nice at all. Five, 6. Oh no, 5. Nice. He gave us 5. That's a good one. Okay, so there is a way to kill this boss slightly faster, but it requires us to use the lightning spell, and because we've gone for the shield just for the safety of it, we're not going to be able to do that, so we're just going to keep shooting him the way we have been. Fast cycle, where were these the rest of the fight? Okay, we just need one more cycle. Why you gotta be like this?
So this is basically your Fantoon boss.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Because you're getting fast and slows.
Yeah, no, that's true. You are getting fast and slow, so we're going to position ourselves here. That should allow us to just kill that orb as soon as it appears at the top of the screen. We didn't even take a hit, which is a little bit frustrating because now I feel like I wasted time getting those other items. But we are still looking good for our estimate. And even though we didn't time them, the speed percent came in under its estimate because I set up that save just to make it a little bit quicker, just in case we were behind on time, and thankfully it saves me playing that very first couple of screens twice. Okay, so that's all of our dungeons done. We are going to have to walk over to this save point to get the mana to use our teleport spell, and if you remember that save that we touched right at the start when we killed that monster here, this is why we do it. So we're going to take some extra damage. We're going to change back to our shield spell, and we are going to trigger this door. So we have to wait for a couple of these to come in. It's going to like do what the orbs did, but you're going to actually get to see it this time with them coming out, the souls coming out of the doors instead. And that flash that you keep seeing looks very similar to Baphomet when you fight that in the Ultimate Good ending. But there's a distinct differences that you will notice when you actually try it, and I do recommend it. This game is so good. All of the endings are very entertaining. As you saw, the meme endings are great. There's lots of great references. There's a couple of Simon's Quest references that we haven't shown. So these are some of the cultists. Oh, we didn't want to talk to him. But when you are good, these guys will attack you. We are not good, so they're all good with us. So this is Belphegor. Let's just use this quickly. Oh, we went the wrong way there. So we want him now that he's thrown his spear, we want him to keep coming back this way without it, because that will dictate he'll basically only use these 2 attacks. And then we just have to avoid them. Ooh, that was close. That fireball that drops will kill me if it hits me. And that's time.
Good game.
yeah, so that fireball would have hit me if it killed me. I could have survived one brick hitting me, but I'm not sure if that would have also hit with the mini ball hitting me at the end of it. But yeah, so you're going to see this horrible demon die a death. As you see, we kind of go a little bit Super Saiyan on him. So this bit here is sort of like the neutral section of the ending. You'll get this whether we were good or evil. Okay, but the difference is here. In the good ending, you will die in this after this fight. The evil ending, as we've just done, we survive. And what you'll get, it'll show you, if you remember the scene in the first town where the shops were, that is somewhere where you will get a statue showing if it's a good ending. But because it's evil and we survived, we become a little bit of a, I suppose, a gremlin type character. And, however, we ain't doing good. Like, we make Gollum look good. And so the eyes there to indicate that we didn't stop the evil. And these little credit sequences, as you noticed, you get something different for every ending. They're all a lot of fun. Yeah, but 100% try Infernax, give it a go. It's such a game. It is on Game Pass as well, so if you have that with Xbox and PC, you can play it on there. I don't know if it's on PS Plus, but if somebody wants to take a look, go for it. It's on Steam as well. Definitely take a look at this game. It is a lot of fun, especially if you are a fan of like old school platformers and Metroidvanias. There's a lot more exploration than you would see in a speed run to be done on a casual playthrough. But as always, thank you to all the guys who helped get me set up for the run. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to watch. It's always something that we're grateful for. Thank you for all of the donations and the GG guys. This has been a lot of fun, and I think this is actually the first marathon I've run that has come in within its time limit. So another positive there. But yeah, Sinath, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for hosting for me. And I'll hand back to you.
All right. So let me just double check to see if there's anything going on. No new donations. So yeah, let's just stick around, and I will get everything set up. So let's go ahead and transition.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.